te voir arriver contre...
Arbitre de ce combat, le Britannique John Coyle. Juge, messieurs, Antonio Requena, Venezuela. Amadeo Continenza, Italie. Fernando Viso, Venezuela. Superviseur pour l'IBF, Yamata Knight. Pour la WBC, Hector Rodriguez. Ocasio, Evander Holyfield.
So the stage is set now as Holyfield prepares to defend 2/3 of the World Championship in this weight class. Official representatives on hand from both the International Boxing Federation, that is the lady right there, Hiawatha Knight, and the WBA, also with a representative on the scene. Referee John Coyle of Great Britain brings the two fighters together in the middle of the ring. If you've just joined us on Showtime Championship Boxing, in an earlier bout, Dwight Muhammad Qawi scored a 6th round technical knockout over Leroy Murphy, which has given Qawi the right to meet the winner of this bout. And if it is Holyfield, it will be a revenge bout. Holyfield took the WBA title from Qawi last July. Ocasio comes out and tries to get off first.
Well, he's certainly fighting totally different right off the bat. I mean, he has trained 3 months. He's come in to lay it out in the first round. It's exactly what Holyfield would like. He would like an exchange.
Holyfield is not a defensive fighter. He will take some punishment, but watch for the ability to finish combinations and indeed sometimes the opponent with either hand.
In defense of Ocasio, if he needs one, the fight with Qawi was taken after a year layoff, and he really did look flabby and sloppy in that fight. He's had 3 months of hard training now with Gregorio Benitez, Wilfredo Benitez's father, and he certainly looks much sharper. I mean, even his body looks much sharper today.
Holyfield not yet able to land the combination. He's tried twice with the jab, setting up the right cross.
Benitez keeping up a running commentary, telling him to move, move, move. As soon as Ocasio gets still, Benitez starts hollering, move, move, move. The difficulty in watching Oswald Ocasio is that his punches, even when they land, don't have a great deal of steam or power to them.
Round 1 of a scheduled 15 rounds. Holyfield has gone 15 once in his career. Ocasio has done it 5 different times. Few here expect the bout to go that distance. Chopping right hand by Holyfield, and Ocasio leaned back on the ropes to get a better look.
A little bit of the amateur in Holyfield, and I think he's already a little frustrated. It's only the first round. But already we have seen a great variety of ways to hold and grab and tie up a fighter. Ocasio's a master at doing that. Good tactic.
Just a little short with the right hand there was Holyfield, but he digs twice to the body and has got Ocasio standing still.
This is a 20-foot ring, not as advertised 22, but 20 feet, which is in Holyfield's favor. It's a lot less to run around. The ropes are rather loose, as you saw. Ocasio leaned back into him, and they bent a great deal backwards, which is in Holyfield's favor again.
Ocasio might like the 30-foot ring. You can probably hear the running commentary recommending the uppercut as a stratagem.
Yes, because as Ocasio leans down, you just saw him lean down twice. He's wide open for an uppercut. And Holyfield has just got to begin to control him with a jab and start taking over the fight, the tempo.
Holyfield hooking to the body.
It's much stronger than Ocasio. Punch is stronger than Ocasio. He just doesn't have the experience to know how to get away from a grasping, grabbing fighter. There, that's a perfect example of that. Which, by the way, is a perfectly legitimate boxing tactic. You don't have to fight every minute of every round if you're smart enough to hit somebody and hold them and get away with it, as he just did again. That's what a youngster like Holyfield, even though he's the champion, has to learn how to control.
Capacity crowd here in Saint-Tropez. They are not the noisiest crowd you've ever heard. The French tend to treat boxing as much a romantic art as a vicious blood sport.
Is it a vicious
They cringe a little bit during punishment.
Is it a vicious blood sport?
I never thought so.
Holyfield doing much better, stepping up the action. He had top rope, goes way back. He just doesn't get the support that he thinks he's getting when he leans back. Because Ocasio, he leans too far back.
Holyfield beginning to connect inside for
Holyfield much faster hand speed and much sharper punches.
Starting to put punches together, which he wasn't able to do in round one. I think those twin hooks to the body early in the round got Ocasio's attention. And now Holyfield is able to bear in and pin Ocasio against the ropes from time to time.
He's coming in just as Benton trained him. Double, triple jab, and then the right cross, and then a hook behind the cross. He just did that last series of punches. He's just doing it again. The 2 or 3 jabs gets the other man on the defensive, not looking for the right hand. Comes the right hand, he thinks it's over with, and comes the left hook after that. So the perfect combination.
And you can certainly see why lovers of hard punching love Holyfield. He delivers each blow with a purpose.
And it's also why the Holyfield-Dwight Cowie fight was such an attractive fight and so hard to judge, and why it's going to be so good coming up.
Solid right hand against the ropes by Evander Holyfield. Ocasio slinging him away and then backing up again. As long as Ocasio backs straight up like this and leans against the ropes, Ferdy, he's going to take a pounding.
Charlie Holyfield doesn't forgive him any moment. I mean, he makes a mistake, Holyfield's there to make him pay. He's an active fighter.
Much better second round.
5 days, and I have enjoyed it almost as much as Holyfield is enjoying chasing Ocasio.
I thought you were talking to Leroy Murphy in the hotel lobby.
I was talking to Leroy's shirt, actually.
Round 3 of a scheduled 15. Bout began to turn in Holyfield's favor in round 2. Be interesting to see what Gregorio Benitez has left at the end of the evening in that voice, Ferdy, if he keeps up at this rate.
Well, I know him for many years, and I can tell you he can go into Christmas season without losing his voice. By the way, speaking of great fighters, his son, Wilfredo Benitez, was certainly a great fighter, maybe one of the youngest, if not the youngest man ever to win a title.
As for Holyfield, he won the WBA Cruiserweight title in that 15-round split decision over Cowie on July 20 of last year. WBA, of course, calls the title the junior heavyweight title. The other 2 governing bodies, the IBF and the WBC, both refer to it as the cruiserweight title. On May 15, with his 3rd round TKO of Ricky Parkey in Las Vegas, Holyfield took over the IBF version of the championship. Up ahead, if he were able to defeat Ocasio tonight, a bout with Dwight Muhammad Cowie, a revenge battle for Cowie, and then potentially a bout with Carlos De Leon to attempt to unify the title in this weight class, and it is at that point that most suspect he will move up to the heavyweight division.
Well, he's certainly fighting like a heavyweight right now. He is controlling Ocasio. He has had a series of pitch battles here, which Ocasio's lost every one, and Holyfield has really been powdering him. It is beginning to look like the wear and tear on Ocasio is showing.
The one left hook about 15 seconds ago landed flush on the jaw of Ocasio, and he grimaced as he moved away. Ocasio continues.
Easy to say, but when Holyfield's in front of you, pushing you against those ropes, there's nowhere else to go. That's what we talked about at the top of the show, cutting him off, dominating him with a jab. Everything we said at the beginning, Holyfield just showed in that last round, and it's beginning to pay off, and he's stepping up the gas.
Holyfield using the jab now more in round 4.
As Ocasio slows down, the jab is more effective in controlling him. As it's more effective, the right hand comes in better, and all of it to the detriment of Ossie Ocasio.
Ocasio countered for a moment with a right. Holyfield digs back to the body.
Ocasio has had the unfortunate habit of punch, and then grab. Holyfield, once he finds out that the punch is going to be followed by grab, moves away and starts punching himself. Of course, that results in more punishment on Ocasio. Back to the ropes for Ocasio just then.
You saw Holyfield there doing something he's tried to do, and there again, coming up the middle with the uppercut. Indeed, Ocasio holding his hands apart and making that available to him.
You can almost see Holyfield turning on the heat a little bit at a time each round. It just gets a little bit more intensive. The punches a little bit more meaningful. Again and again, his corner exhorting him, don't get on the ropes, don't get stuck on the ropes, punch and move.
We're in round 4 of a scheduled 15.
Beautiful double jab and a right hand by Holyfield.
Double title holder Evander Holyfield dominating Osvaldo Ocasio of Puerto Rico as he tries to retain his championship and point toward a second battle with Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Ocasio taking punishment against the ropes. Solid left to the head there by Holyfield.
Holyfield just moves him from one rope to the other. Traps him on one rope, goes to the other rope. Ocasio beginning to wear out.
Chose to live in New York a few years back rather than to remain in Paris because of the difficulty of being a public figure in his own hometown.
A difficulty which you've handled very well in Manhattan, I understand.
And you in Tampa and Miami, Ferdy, everyone knows about that.
Don't leave out Mobile, Alabama. It was very big there for him.
Round 5 of a scheduled 15 now as Holyfield tries to press the attack once more. In case you joined us late here on Showtime Boxing, in an earlier bout, Dwight Muhammad Qawi scored a 6th round technical knockout over Leroy Murphy to put himself in line for a shot at the winner of this fight.
Ocasio is behind, obviously 39 to 36. He's been losing the second, third, and fourth, but I feel that the quality of the fight is much superior to what we saw with Dwight Qawi. I mean, I just didn't, with Qawi, he just looked like he had nothing. At least here, he's trying hard, he's fighting back, he's getting outclassed by Holyfield, but you sense a desire on his part to fight, whereas I didn't see that at all with Dwight, and that's what sort of infuriated me in a title fight, to have a guy just openly run. He's not doing that here. He's trying to fight. He's just getting outclassed.
Well, if he has a desire to fight, Freddie, you have to assume that he has some outside idea of winning. What strategy could he be employing here? Is he hoping that Holyfield will punch himself out?
He's hoping he'll get tired. He'll make a mistake. Unfortunately, when you have a fighter that can't punch, your options are rather closed, because even if you're waiting for him to get tired, if you blow out all those first rounds, you're not going to knock him out. You're not going to outpoint him. So he is in a difficult position for a man who can't punch and who is slowly, inexorably falling farther and farther behind.
Ocasio has a record of 21 wins, 3 losses, and a draw, only 11 knockouts. And when a fighter at this level has knockouts in fewer than half of his bouts, then that is a fair indication that he can't punch, because obviously many of the early opponents in the career are of lesser stature.
That's exactly the point. All his knockouts came out early when he was fighting just opposition to get him training fights, and then when he got up into the real divisions, he got hammered by Holmes in 7, got knocked out by Stokes in 1.
Short right hand inside stunned Ocasio, who stopped movement for a moment, and Holyfield was able to press in and land a couple of more. Ocasio now flinching and merely trying to defend himself. Under Holyfield in the black trunks and Osvaldo Ocasio in the red begins. Holyfield defending his WBA junior heavyweight IBF cruiserweight crown in the 190-pound weight class.
Very frisky on the part of Evander Holyfield. He's bouncing up and down now like if he was just having a wonderful time here.
This bouncing up and down does him little good, though, doesn't it, Ferdy? He'd be better off to settle down on his feet.
Doesn't do him any good, but when you're feeling frisky and everything's going your way, you're a little coltish.
Oh, what he did was allow Ocasio to land his first solid blow of the fight, a right hand.
And the crowd responded, because up to now it's just a one-way walk away.
Might have been a bad idea for Ocasio. Evander is back down on his feet now.
It was a bad idea. Obviously, if you're going to bounce around with a guy who can bounce around as good as Ocasio, that's his territory, not yours.
Holyfield pressing forward, starting to use the jab again now. Follows with the right.
Every round, Ocasio goes to the same spot on each corner and lays there and gets pummeled. Keeps that up, he's going to have to start paying rent on that top rope over there, directly across from him. I mean, he just keeps laying there and getting killed.
Come on, get up, get up! No, wait! Get that jab and get up!
One of the things that strikes you when you come to Saint-Tropez in the south of France is the orderliness of the